Hey there, friends. We are here for another Out of Theater review, and this time we're at the premiere of Descendants 4. This time we're heading into Wonderland. We're going to check out the installations and all the photo booths, but since there's an after party, we're going to have to head back to the studio couch for the actual Out of Theater review. Let's get started. Okay, we are back. We are home. I apologize. I had a lot of poison apples. I know my makeup is running, but let's get into it. We are back on the couch for the Out of Theater review for Descendants 4. I'm going to try to do my best to do a non-spoiler review, and it's going to be weird because right out the gate, my non-spoiler review is, if I can't talk about the spoilers, I loved this film. Brandy, Paolo, my childhood just emerging on the screen. It gave me so many it was happy. It made me happy. That was truly the best way that I could describe it. It also gave a beautiful tribute to Cameron and was really precious and delicate with his legacy. Before the film started, one of the executives came out to let us know that a sizable donation was made to his foundation for research and preventative care of epilepsy. And I thought that was such a beautiful way to honor him, not to mention all of the beautiful tributes within the film. I was bawling within the first 5 minutes of this feature. And then of course we see Cinderella and Prince Charming, and my childhood is just reinvigorated, and it was just wonderful. The music, Rita Ora, oh my god. It felt like everyone was having rap battles. It felt so good. This movie makes you want to get up on your feet and dance. Every scene, every song leading up in the beginning and the middle was just so good. This film truly is a continuation to the Descendants that we knew and love. I feel like they took all of the juicy, delicious, wonderful aspects that made Descendants what it was and put it in this, even though a majority of the characters that we knew and love aren't in this new film. It still has all the character, all of the heart, everything that makes Descendants what it is. Alright, enough about that, because I need to start talking about it. It's late, I'm tired, I want to get to the spoilers. Now, I did say before that my non-spoiler review is going to be different than my spoiler review, or at least how I felt about it. If I can't give spoilers, I like this. I think that everyone's gonna like it. It's great, it's wonderful, it's perfect. If I'm allowed to give spoilers, which I'm gonna do right now, so if you wanna watch this on your own, have your own impressions of the film, just watch the first half, that's all you need. It's great, it's perfect, it's a delicious movie, you're gonna love it. Spoilers, there's no ending! Yeah, so the whole point of this film is that Uma is now the principal because Dove Cameron, Mel, and Prince Charming are off with the gang, and that's why they're not in this film, because they're sailing the seas, going to different continents, and they're gonna make amends or whatever. They're building foundations and friendships elsewhere. So they left Uma to take over. She's now the principal of the school, and the fairy godmother who used to be the principal is now gonna do the college. It's a whole thing. I digress. But in the third film, when they open up the doors to all the villains, everyone's friends, lovely, everything is great and good, the one place they did not open their gates to was Wonderland. And Red is the princess there, under the oppressive regime of her mother, and we don't know why the Red Queen is the way she is, until later on we find out that something happened, as most things do, in high school, at a dance. Something happened, and we don't know what that thing is, but something happened that made her this way, and made her just wicked and evil, and just like, it's a whole thing. The Mad Hatter gives Red a compass because he's like, I hate to see you this way and I wish you could choose your own destiny. Here is a little time watch or stopwatch that can actually take you back in time. Uma sends a letter to Red so that she's allowed to attend the school now. Everything's great with that. She goes, her and her mom, they go to orientation. Rita Ora's like singing really cool songs, but then she's like, revenge! And she basically plans a coup. In that time, while that's happening, Cinderella and Prince Charming are bringing their daughter, their youngest daughter, or only daughter, it's unclear, because I know they had Prince Charming in the other films. They're bringing Chloe to the school. It's her first time, and her whole thing is she's princess, and she's always been princess, and, you know, if she gets good grades and she's a humanitarian and she's nice to people, she gets these glass slippers, and that's really important, but it's like, if she does good, she gets good. And that's kind of her whole MO. If she does good, she gets good. And she gets her own little glass, not slippers, but sneakers. It's very cute. The coup happens at the school right when it's about to get really thick and heavy. Rita Ora's about to take Brandy's head. It's a whole thing. Red and Chloe hit the time watch. They go back in time. Now this is really cute. We get to see Merlin. He's now the leader of this Merlin School of Witchcraft and Wizardry or whatever. So we get to see Bridget, which is the Queen Red. We get to see Brandy when she's younger. And it's really cute. They're friends. We get to see how Queen Red and Ella are friends. And it seems like it's gonna be a story, at least in my opinion. It felt like a story where the girls were gonna be fighting over Prince Charming, but then that storyline never happened. In my mind, I'm thinking, oh, that'd be a much better story if Ella turned out to be the bad guy. But the story is Ursula's younger sister is just a bully, and she bullies on Bridget Red, Queen Red, because she's nice. And I get it, it's a Disney Channel movie, that happens. But then a twist of fate happens, and Ursula's sister ends up in water, which I don't see the problem with that. You're like an octopus anyway. She's embarrassed. She goes on a whole I'm gonna destroy her kick. So she decides to make these evil cupcakes that are gonna turn her into a hag. It's like the ball, it's like the character ball of the castle. At the castle ball or whatever, it's like the big thing that's happening. And it's this big event where Cinderella and Prince Charming meet, and that's where they fall in love. That's where Red has her first dance, and it's like her first ball. And it's like, this is a pivotal moment where everything happens is at this castle club or castle connection or castle ball, whatever. This castle event, it's a beautiful ball. It's the first ball that everyone goes to. They keep talking about it in this film and we never see it. The way that this ends is Ursula's younger sister in her little vengeance thing is like, I have to go steal this cookbook and I'm gonna make a cupcake, because Red gives out cupcakes to everyone, and if we put one of those cupcakes that turns her into a creature and no one's gonna love her, ha 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 ha. And that's the thing. And so they have to go into Merlin's office to steal the book, but instead Red and Cinderella steal the book so that she can't make the cupcakes, and then it ends. And I'm like, you spent this whole movie talking about how Brandy and Paolo met together at this castle club thing, or this castle party thing, the castle ball. We don't even get to see that. You spent this whole movie telling me that Bridget, Queen Red, turns evil because of something that happens at this castle club thing, castle ball, whatever, and you don't even show it to me? No, they get the book after certain silly little owl fights. They go back to the dorm, they hit the timer, and then it goes back to the beginning, and Rita Ora is like, oh, I just wanted to do, and when we turn around, we see she's got pink on her dress now, and it's done. There is no ending. It's weird, and I did feel this in the earlier Descendants too. It feels like it's a whole beautiful movie, and then you get kind of towards the middle of Act 2, and you're like, man, this movie has been on for a while, but it doesn't feel like we're at the end. And then the end just kind of happens. And it's really disappointing because there were so many other storylines that I think could have happened. Brandy's character had to tell Chloe, her daughter, but she didn't know she was a daughter because it's in the past, had to tell her daughter that just because you do nice things, and just because you are a nice person, or just because you do bad things, doesn't make you a bad person. He's literally describing how, you know, if that's your line, if there's no gray area in anything that you do, how do you explain Robin Hood? And now Chloe's like, oh, maybe I don't understand who I am. And Ella, who is Cinderella, who has nothing, who is impoverished and comes from nothing, is like, you are so princess. You are so princess, and you don't realize how privileged you are. And the fact that your parents gave you shoes just for being nice, that is not the standard. That is the standard of a privileged person who does not have to do much to get rewards. That is not the life I have. And if I were your parents, I would not raise you that way. But that's exactly how she raised her. Meanwhile, you know, Red is looking at her mom, who's the nicest person on earth, giving cupcakes. Meanwhile, the mom she's used to has her in prison. So in my mind, I'm watching these stories and I'm like, there are so many other storylines that I feel like could have been fleshed out more. If it turned out that not Ursula's sister was the bad guy, but instead Brandy's character all along that was the villain, I think that would have been so much better, especially because it would have been a shock to us millennials and older who are watching this to see the Brandy that we know and love, she's actually the villain. But in my mind, if it was an accident, you know, if it was an accident, if she didn't realize, like maybe it was that Bridget also liked Prince Charming, and so he thought that Prince Charming was inviting her to this castle ball, and actually he really wanted to date Cinderella, and that was the embarrassment. And so it's you know, now it's twofold. Or it would have been nice if they messed something up in the past and now Brandy's evil, or who knows, it could have been a slew of things, but they've just ended it. And so all of this buildup that we had watching this movie was just it just was, you know, I didn't get anything. I didn't feel any meat. I felt like I was drinking broth. You know, it was great. The broth tastes delicious, but like there was no meat. There was no potatoes. It just kind of was, except the songs. I'm gonna put that back. There was a little bit of meat in it because them songs were everything. Those songs were so good. Anyway, it was great. I got a photo with Prince Charming. That's really what I wanted. Let's be frank, casual, not casual. We're not chill about this. I got a photo of Apollo. Everything is perfect and wonderful. Sans the spoilers, I did have a good time. I know that I had a really, really, really good time watching this. I just wish that they would have done a little bit better on the writing to where it felt like they had an ending. Because that's really what a lot of the critiques that I had and a lot of the critiques that I had been talking with my friends about. This film does not have an ending. It just kind of ends. Anyway, that is my out of the theater review for Descendants 4. Stick around. I should be reviewing Twisters next because that's the one I'm going to tomorrow. Make sure that you like, subscribe, and follow me for more out of the theater reactions, and I will see you guys for the next one.